All right, so we've talked about staff on demand, community and crowd, and algorithms as three kind of externalities. The fourth one, L, stands for leveraged assets, right? And the idea here is kind of like staff on demand. Instead of contracting and owning and employing your own employees, you kind of scale by using contractors or staff on demand platforms where possible. Same thing with leveraged assets. You don't want to own your own assets to retain agility and minimize fixed costs as much as possible goes into a variable cost structure. More and more EXOs today are using leveraged assets. You look at Apple, even mission critical functions like manufacturing and supply chain for Apple are outsourced to Foxconn, its manufacturing partner. And so there's a case of leveraging their capabilities. Maybe the starting point of kind of really this phenomena was cloud computing, and Amazon Web Services in March 2006 when it launched allowed you to not have to build a server farm and have to maintain and buy software and license software and so on. If you went back in the 90s, if you wanted to build a software startup in Silicon Valley, it cost about 20 million bucks. So you ended up raising about that much money to build and maintain all the server farms, et cetera, et cetera. In the early 2000s, it was about 7 million, okay? And with the rise of Amazon Web Services to launch today a software startup, it's about $100,000. Quite a staggering shift because you can outsource all of that core capability to the cloud and have more and more computing on demand, which is again an asset. And so companies today, Airbnb, Uber, this whole collaborative consumption wave is where they're taking, traditionally was an owned asset and turning it into a service. Uber is taking transportation, which we used to own a car, and turning it into transportation as a service, right? Same thing with hotels with Airbnb, or et cetera, et cetera. And to summarize, the reason that we use leveraged assets is why it's important is first it allows scalable product and minimal cost, right? It lowers your marginal cost of supply. It allows you to scale with everything going to variable costs, and it shifts it lowers the risk of having you to get started, and it radically increases your agility.